And we are back. Yeah, so sorry about the technical difficulties from before. Yeah, so I did another video live, but it just didn't record. I was recording the church, but again, I didn't went on the Wi-Fi. I was using the hotspot, and yeah, it was trash. So yeah. So we'll be doing. So I'm gonna actually come back to the video that I had before. Probably do it again, maybe later tonight. Uh, uh, but it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done for sure because that's something I need to talk on. Something I need to talk on, but I also want to get some backstory on some of those scriptures. But today, this video will be going over part two of recognizing the spirit, recognizing when spirits create toxic environments. Because part one is pretty good. I feel like I touched on a lot of things. Part two is gonna be just as good. So we're gonna try to keep this underneath the hour and get things done, and see if we can pull any wisdom or valuable information out of the system. I mean, out of the Bible, so I can so we can feed to you guys, get some of the meat, cut some of that fat. You know what I'm saying? So we can eat good. But some people like their fat on their meat. They like it could be a little crunch, could be like bacon. You never know. All right. So let me share my screen real quick. Let me see. I think it was about to fall off. I seen it. There we go. Share my screen real quick. And these just be discussions I'll be having with AI a lot of the time. So if you have any, I encourage you to do the same. So if you have any thoughts, ideas, concepts that you may want to share, that or discussions that you have with AI that you thought was pretty good, comment below. We can discuss it, or might even pull you onto my live so we can both discuss it. So that'd be nice. So let's get into it. So it's pretty much I was talking to ChatGPT, which I was talking to Jim, not ChatGPT. Well, I was talking to ChatGPT as well, but also bring the same topic to Gemini. So I asked Gemini. I know that some people create their own toxic volatility atmosphere in some cases unknowingly. Now they don't want to be in the same atmosphere of the tension and volatility that they stirred up, even when responded to kindly. Are there any stories or are there any stories in the Bible that reflect this concept that can be expounded on? So Gemini, again, this is one of the stories that was based off what was happening at the bank. I had a customer come in. She was very upset from my previous video when she came in about a debit card, and she was just so like mad and upset that we didn't print debit cards the same day, and she just wanted us to change all our rules and regulations to fit her feelings. So, and we just wasn't going for that. I wasn't going for that. Something off of Lord of the Rings. So they she thinking like I'm out here just taking orders and I'm a door for something. I don't know what they got thinking. So what I'm not, man, that's not my duty. I just this, that's not in my pay grade. So she just was really upset. So I had the manager went out there and did what they needed to do to change. But again, she created this energy, and you know how these people are. She was older too. She had very hostile energy. So I have another one, another example that I would like to discuss. I have another example I would like to discuss. So even when people could create toxic energy you when you may do something that they overlook on somebody else, or I don't think they even aware themselves that they was doing that. That they that that they think they not aware that they are that type of person. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied, but I mean, work with me. Uh, but they don't believe that they are this type of person, meaning, or they don't. If they don't believe it, they probably do know that they they are whew, that they are this type of person. Meaning, uh, that's why I wanted to do like I ain't gonna say like it's more like a Ghostbusters series. I'm gonna have to watch the movie Ghostbusters. I'm gonna probably watch it tonight so I can get more terminology or uh, examples of what they were doing in the movie and explain it what I mean by certain spirits. People have certain energy, certain vibes that come upon them. Like literally, it literally comes upon them, and they not knowing it, and they acting on it in the physical, but not knowing that this happening, and but other people can sense it and feel it. So sense it and feel it, and they think it's invisible. They think it's just between me and them, and it's really not. They other people within the same space can see and notice that this is going on. And a good example is this. It's like, for example, even if you like uh, showing up late, it could be like not you not knowing something, or you they may feel that you may not, based off your physicality, based off your physical, they think that you unskilled or not up to par, or there is something wrong with you, that you are not enough or worthy of whatever they believe in their mind, which has nothing to do with me when I step up to bat. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with me when I got the bowling ball. Like they ain't necessarily like, well, how you feel and think don't mean nothing until it is this game. And into this game, I'm 6 for 7. Like somehow this person, this body, that look like this, that he may not look up, he not coming from the best soil, may not look the healthiest, he may not have the best grill and teeth, he may not look the best handsomest in the room. Somehow I'm and producing and not just producing, barely producing at a high level. Um, so high level, and they want you to prove that to them. Like, no, I'm not doing it. There's nothing to prove. Like, is it getting done or it's not? Is I'm learning or is I'm progressing? The funny thing is, as time goes on, they start to see that you're progressing and growing, and it's hard for them to combat that. But also, it's hard for them to go back and fix what was already exposed, where which is that type of energy, that type of attitude, that type of tonality. Uh, 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 to me, it could be sometimes that type of demonic energy. Now that I know that it's there, it's just a matter of time before you use it again, and use it again, and they not knowing what you bring to the table. So maybe let's get to the topic and deeper into what I'm discussing when it comes to toxic volatility. Uh, so I asked Gemini again, are there any stories in the Bible that reflect the concept that you can expound on? And Gemini said that's a really perspective observation. It taps into fundamental human dynamic, the way our internal state shapes our external reality, often leading to self-fulfilling, in this case, toxic prophecy. You pointed to a pattern where the creator of the tension is the most harmed by it, even when others respond with grace. Exactly. So, and especially in this case where someone that could be like, you know what I'm saying, like I said, they could be in like management, they can be just someone that's like a supervisor, and then just like one person in management. It could be multiple leaders where none of the leaders, some of the leaders, they just don't see you in that way. So, and if you're not showing up uh, at 100% day one, meaning you're the most healthiest, the most fit. If you not showing up looking like head to toe like a pro, that they don't literally tell you that what you need to show. Like they don't literally tell you that you need to be the most healthiest, the most fit person, the most well spoken. You don't have to be honest. You really don't have to be very productive. They not really looking for productive people. They be actually just looking for bodies, and that's just to be honest. Uh, uh, you point out, let's say you point out a pattern where the creator of the tension is the most harmed by it, and even when others respond to grace. The Bible being enriched in tapestry of human nature and consequence certainly reflects reflects this concept through several powerful stories and core the theological principles. I see this dynamic most clearly in the story of King Saul and the general principle sowing and reaping. So, okay, number one, King Saul, the self-created cage of paranoia. The story of King Saul, particularly in his late years following the rise of David, found primarily in the book of once and in Samuel book on and Samuel is found in a tragic case study in how one's own internal insecurity can create an unbearable external atmosphere. So here's a strategic wins. Description of Saul dynamic. Saul disobedience to God's commands in Samuel, 1 Samuel 13 and chapter 13 and 15 led to God withdrawing His spirit and allowing a distressing spirit, often interrupted as severe mental emotional affliction like paranoia and depression to torment him. Of course, he was insecurity and jealousy over his loss of divine favor and the growing popularity of David. Uh, so, so I guess by him being insecure that David was growing in popularity. David was very just well. It's almost like like being jealous of LeBron or Luca. Like not saying that what's his name? He played for the Lakers. He just AR-15. Uh, um, so Luca, obviously, Luca and them was not growing in popularity. They was already popular. They already doing things, but especially if you come into a new territory, you join in a new kingdom where someone was already there and they was already looked at as king or just like man of high rank, and someone they come into your kingdom and they start to get rank above you, that can really, and then that could really put someone in a someone that may be like attention seekers, that love attention. They could really put them in a expose them to expose their spirit where they kind of become very like again insecure, jealous, thinking the other person maybe want the spot or want they spot. Other people may put them above them, and in most cases, that's not the truth. Like that's why I said, even like me working in corporate, where I may show up, and as time go on, I start to gain popularity, maybe favor, just because the traits and values that I bring to the table to the table on a day to day basis. Maybe how I handle customers, how I talk to customers. People, a lot of people zone in and listen in when I talk to how I handle people. Handle people because I handle people with care. and I also try to get the best out of people's situation. And everybody don't bring that to the table, and but they see the positive of and the the love and the grace that I extend to others that may need assistance, where others would let them drown or let them fall or go without. So, and I feel like Saul can see that on David, and Saul wasn't too fond of it. And because some people that sometimes also I feel like insecurity also can lead to can be can come from a place of not willing, not willing to do certain things. Uh, um, like for them, not willing to open the door, not willing to greet people, not willing to do maybe the smaller tasks that uh, someone like King David, where he was actually doing those things, and those things they didn't know those things counted amongst God. God kept count and kept record, and it never left his sight. It was always accounted for, and he just did, sometimes they just don't realize those insecurities can really hurt you, and jealousy hurt you as well. So the toxic atmosphere, Saul began to view David, his most loyal and successful servant, as a essential, essential existential threat. His palace became a place of constant palpable fear, suspicion, and volatility. He frequently flew into rages, hurling the spear at David, even as David was playing the harp to soothe him. So that's very toxic. And then my thing is, if this was happening during that time or during that setting, during that play, during that scene, during that scenario, doing that scene, and you actually imagine the scene as it's happening. If you imagine the scene as it's happening, he hurling a spear while he's playing the harp. So I guess it's just him. So if I guess in King Saul's mind, it's just only him and David, which is not true. It's other people around. Like it got to be other people around. Ain't like these small little tactics, these small little uh these interactions that the Bible speak of, and what AI shared is saying that you know what I'm saying these things, these interactions, these violent hatred interactions is happening. This is happening when other people are around. People see this is happening. So other people even feel the tension in the room, even in your workplace, even in your household, even out at the grocery store or the gas station, uh, where people could be feeling some type of way about you, not knowing where, not knowing like you just focus on self. You just doing the best that you can. He like he said, they were just playing his harp. He where he's supposed to be. He like I'm doing I'm just playing the harp. I'm just a person on the instrument. I'm just on the worship team. I'm just on the worship team. Like how are you jealous of something he been doing his whole life? Like he been doing it probably most of his life. Like what is he talking about? Like uh and people can sense their energy, and they can really slow down the growth and development of a team or organization or certain departments. Like even like for somebody on the worship team, we could change the make the environment bad, like, and where they can't really perform at their best because they thinking you gonna blow up at any time or do the petty stuff just to like uh irritate. David. I'm pretty sure David was very irritated of the little things that he was doing and just trying to fight through that. And that can, and I'm pretty sure they went on for years. It wasn't like he became king and took over Saul's spot in one night or a couple weeks, a couple weekends or something. No, I'm pretty sure they went on for a very long time, and that can be very annoying. The unwilling victim. Saul was trapped by the very tension he created. He was so tormented that he needed David's music to feel relief. Yet the relief was temporary because his paranoia, the toxic seed, the toxic seed will immediately reassert itself, turning David from therapist to target. He became obsessed with hunting David, sacrificing his own focus, his his focus on his kingdom and his relationship with his own son Jonathan. Um, Jonathan was a key man. As I continued to do these, and when I started really diving into like different characters and discussing different characters, I really want to get into that as well. Uh, but yeah, just like that's what I say. Jealousy could be very distracting. Insecurity could be very distracting, and because he and even though David had the music musical skill to like bring relief, bring probably joy, bring relaxation to King Saul. But Saul was just so jealous of like gifts that he already had, like gifts that God gave him. Like some things you just can't change. Like I'm just glad I grew up in the sports world, so or I understand like certain things. Some people just had the whole time. Some people just got an arm. They can throw 100 miles an hour. Like ain't nothing I can do tonight or overnight to throw 100 miles an hour. Some things are just God given. Some people just got the speed physical speed where they can just run super fast. They can gain a lot of ground, pick up a lot of ground in a short uh, or have long strides where they can move very quickly and move very quickly. Even if um, even if I worked on it, I wouldn't be as just as fast as them. I can increase my speed a little bit more to make me a little bit above average runner, but it won't be to a 5-star type caliber like them where it's just natural. And I just can't I just can't see myself sitting around and upset and jealous of someone else and jealous of someone else's gifts and talents that they had their entire life. So um, yeah, and especially if they on your team, like what are we doing? Like if they on your team, use it to your ability, like use it to your advantage. Like while they on your team. Okay, and here's the paradox of kindness. David, despite Saul's multiple attempts on his life, constantly we gonna fix it. Constantly, I'm sorry, consistently, consistently responded with kindness and respect, sparing Saul's life when he had the chance in the cave. This kindness did not resolve Saul's internal turmoil. In fact, it often seemed to briefly break through, prompting Saul to weep and admit his sin, only for distressing, only for the distressing spirit and his inner toxicity to return and lock him back into his cycle of volatility. He was unable to tolerate the peace because his internal state was anchored to conflict. And that's why I said some people just some people some there are some spirits that just thrive in that and or they feel comfortable in the volatility. They could feel comfortable in the storm or in the chaos or or in the chaos, just because maybe that's how things are back at home in their world, in their life, or these things that they may have been battling with years prior, or in their childhood, or I'm just not sure where they got it from. And sometimes I feel like the church may feel those things can be fixed easily, and some things I think that's just like the core of who they are. And some people do serve a purpose at that time, in that moment, or during that season. And sometimes people be with those type of issues being position of power for extended seasons, extended periods of time, and causing distress amongst other spirits, or just making it tough amongst other spirits, especially a man that's sitting there. You have a man on your team. They have the man's a man that's out of God's heart. That's sitting on your team, set for positioning him well to achieve that spiritual goal, or just to see that come to fruition. It's more like, why I ain't got that. Like, why I don't got that ability. You don't know what is going. You don't know what that can lead to. Like, you don't know what. Like, why would you even position yourself or put your uh why would you even put your life in danger? Uh, I understand. I mean, that depends. It depends on if you looking to. It depends on if you looking to like be a sacrifice for God, or if that's where your heart is, to sacrifice for God, because you never know what a person with that's on that's been passed down, that gift or that assignment, that they could be ready to sacrifice, meaning they can be committing they could be doing kamikaze, like literally, like kamikaze, where like, hey, I got this assignment, and this assignment is to for this to happen, and for this to happen, and with this happening, I'm gonna end up dying at this time period. At this time period. And that can be, you know what I'm saying, that could be a lot for somebody. A lot if a lot of people knew their assignment before, as they received it, knowingly what the assignment was, a lot of people turn it down. Like, they wouldn't even a lot of people would turn it back, give it back. They're like, oh, I'm on a new one. Because they may not want to die, or they want to enjoy life, or they don't want to do those things. And and I feel like Saul, it's funny because Saul was in position to do the things that he was doing. Like, how you was already king, and you had a son was Jonathan. Like, you had a, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, but like, what are we talking about? So Saul's story, the nuance is Saul's story shows a person, due to their own morale and psychological choices, created an atmosphere that drove away the very sources of peace, loyalty, and competence. David and Jonathan, they could have stabilized him. He suffered the most from his own self-inflicted siege. A very lot, because he could have got a lot more done with those type of spirits and his on his team underneath his belt. Uh, he could just got achieve a lot more. It's like Tom Brady and Randy Moss when they joined together. They was only together for like maybe 1 or 2 seasons. But if they was together for multiple seasons, they would have won way more championships. Or even like Kobe and Shaq. Like, uh, with the right leadership. I mean, Phil Jackson did the best he could. But this might be going off topic. But because everybody may not be sports people, but Phil Jackson did the best he could. But Phil Jackson, he wasn't like, no, I don't believe he's like a King Saul or anything. But having two great people on your team, two great players that, you know what I'm saying, that's great at what they do, two great spirits, and one of them was your son, and the other one was King David. Pretty much one of them was Kobe, and the other one was Shaq. Uh, like That's wild. That's wild. You giving up, you know what I'm saying, guaranteed wins, like guaranteed championships. Why? Okay, the general principle, sowing and reaping. So we're gonna go with number two. While Saul's story is a character-driven narrative, the concept you describe is also supported by a fundamental strategic law in the Bible. You reap what you sow. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap. For the one who sows to his own flesh will from the flesh reap corruption. But the one who sows to the spirit will from the spirit reap eternal life. Yeah. So and some people walk around with that type of spirit at all times, or creating that type of, like, you know, say, atmosphere and chaos. And sometimes people just do that just to see your reaction. Just to be honest with you, and I'm pretty sure some people, yeah, might deal with that like at home amongst certain family members. It could be certain cousins, certain uncles. It can be just certain, you know, it could be like even aunties. So like, because there's not a lot. It's just not a lot of pure spirits and people that's just like want to see you continue to grow, or they want to see you develop, or willing to discuss with you. It's more of like, I'm gonna do this to see how you react. I'm gonna create this type of energy and atmosphere, just so it's almost like oh, that's why we wanted. That's why we want to go over stuff like this. Just because sometimes I feel like they do these things so they feel like they can take control of you because of you, of how you respond to the storm. And if you don't respond well, since they created the storm, they know when to jump in because they can see your frustration. They can see like your poor management of the storm, poor management of the storm, uh, and saying that, see, I knew you couldn't get it done. I knew you wasn't good enough or prepared enough for this. When they never even spoke to you about it or discussed it with you, when they knew they were just experimenting just to see and never like prepared you before, or brought you into their storm when they was going through the storm to show you how it's done, how to fly in the storm, how to get it done. This is how you handle this. This is how you do this. They not bringing you into their storm and showing you. They not. It's more. They actually create the storm. They the ones that create the storm just to test to see how you doing, see how you respond, and then if you don't respond well, then oh, now they feel like they should control you. No, man, like how? No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Just because you watch me feel, because you watch me, or not even me, so it could be your nephew, your little cousin, or one of the kids. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure y'all seen this before in like in your family, or at your job or something like that. When things are not going well, or things are ramping up, when you ramping up, and there's a lot of volatility, meaning it could be volatility meaning like volume, how much is happening. It ain't just sprinkling. It's pouring down rain. It's thunderstorming. It's thunder. Wind is blowing. Like it's going down. How are you like how they are handling the storm? So when it comes to your job, it's like you ain't just got one customer. So you got 8 customers sitting in the lobby. Like they all trying to be helped. You can see some of them being frustrated. You can see their facial expressions in the back being frustrated. The person that's in front of you got an attitude, like got an attitude, and the person, your manager or supervisor behind you, not supporting you, or not stepping up, or just watching you to see how you handle it. Handle it. I guess they just want to see how you handle it, not necessarily jumping in and just taking care, showing you how it's done, how they want it to be done when things are happening like this. See, that's the type of this type of manager or type of leader that I am. Especially if I'm in a situation or in a space to where I've been through storms like that, multiple storms like that, and I know that you are new or fresh into this space. I'm gonna have you handle some of the stuff, but mostly I'm gonna be showing you how to execute in storms like this. And a good key term is like bases loaded in baseball. Football is only 2 minute drill. Football 2 minute drill. Basketball same thing. 2 minutes left in the game. We down by 10. There are certain things that need to get done for us to pull this off and win this game. There's certain things that need to be get done to just escalate the energy and atmosphere at the workplace. There are certain things that need to get done when uh, when you got the trash cans outside, they need to get pulled in. You got the dogs and cats outside, they need to get into the house. Um, it's leaking and flooding in the basement. How to respond and set that up. Getting the buckets and stuff together, and getting the candles and stuff just in case the lights go out. And there's, and if some people just not, don't know, then you have to show them. Like you got to be willing to show them. And in some cases, and there's some leaders out there that's just not fit for leadership. They just more fit for creating the volatility and creating the chaos in people's life, and then disposing them just because they wasn't ready, and they wasn't. It's not they wasn't ready. They wasn't never equipped or armored with the preparation or knowledge on how to handle the storm. So let's see the volatility when an individual consistently see suspicion, defensiveness, control, rage, and manipulation, which are all works of the flesh or signs of self-centered approach. They should not be surprised when their harvest is an atmosphere of tension, mistrust, and conflict and corruption. See, so, yeah, again, yeah. So it's like they could continue to do these things: suspicion, defensiveness, control, rage, manipulation, which all works of the flesh or signs of self-centered approach. They should not be surprised when their harvest is an atmosphere of tension, mistrust, and conflict and corruption. Yeah, so I do got something is brewing. I got something blowing up. I just ain't got it all together yet to explain it. But I'm gonna come back to that. Reaping the destruction. The corruption reaped here is exactly the toxic volatility you described. The person who planted the suspicion finds that everyone around them is now guarded, exactly, and hesitant, and perhaps even generally plotting to get away from them. Their own actions have created the reality they now dread. Exactly. So when people when certain type of spirits create this toxic volatility, meaning when they create the storm, most people do aware of who is the storm creator. Like even when people walk into a room, they feel the tension. It's just a matter of time who they identify where the tension is coming from and who created that energy that's in the room. So, and most people they do what they can to get away from the person that creating that type of energy, um, creating that type of energy, just because again, people like I said, people are now guarded, they're hesitant, uh, and they also just plot and come up with ways just to get away because it's not no one wants to be around their energy on a day-to-day basis where you have out of 7 days in a week, 6 of the days it's toxic energy. Like who wants to like? So that mean in a month, out of 30 days, what 26 days are bad days, or negative days, or just you just in a storm all 26 days. That's what I said. And people could be in those spaces and spaces and atmospheres for years, like like for years, like, and it shows. And sometimes it just really show on their body, and they don't think it affects their body. It really, your spirit really show up on your skin, like shows up on your posture. Uh, posture shows up in your like your responses when it comes to like your expressions. It shows up in your expressions just because you may think you could be acting defensively. Uh, Again, you could be very hesitant on how you respond, what you choose to share, just because you so used to that atmosphere, that toxic, and you use those toxic atmospheres and environments because that's what you headed to once you get off of work. Once you go home, that's what you headed to. Once you leave in the church, that's what you headed to. So when you come to church, sometimes you still be tensed up, and people just asking you basic questions, and you just respond like, "Oh, what you talking about?" Like, they ain't even saying nothing. Like, I just asked you about, how your day was going. Like, how your day was going. Like I'm coming from playing, you know what I'm saying, on my computer watching the videos. Like, I'm coming from the crib, laying down. I actually, you know, I'm coming from home what they complaining about. Oh, you still laying down? Like, where they actually been in 3, 4 arguments before even coming to church. Like, they was in 3, 4 arguments and hostile arguments and heavy tension before you come to church, where they can replay my story and they be like, he barely get out the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a good mood. I'm good. I didn't took a shower and listening to the different sermons and all type of stuff. Like, God's good. Like, so sometimes that's why you can't really like when people put out that type of energy, you don't know what space they coming from, and you just can't take it personal or accept other people's energy because sometimes it's not even their energy. They be carrying somebody else's energy because they just choosing to battle with it incorrectly. That's why you gotta be filled with the spirit, of the Holy Spirit, and let Christ dwell in you, because it's going to put you in a better position to and have you well equipped to handle that. But I understand that it can be very difficult though, because there's these spirits can be like on it, like very demonic. They can be very on it and very firm on it too. Uh, just because they just be just creating these toxic environments everywhere they go. The inability to exit, like a farmer who only planted weeds and now has nowhere to comfortably sit in their field. The volatile person is surrounded by the negative outcomes of their choices. Even a kind response is often even a kind response is often interpreted through the filter of their suspicion, leading them to stir up the tension again, assuring they never escape the volatile state they created. Exactly. That's even I love that analogy that Gemini used, that they then planted these toxic atmospheres. But now it's no different than a cornfield where it's all around them. It's all around them. So everywhere they go, but that's the thing, and these cornfields can go so far, like so far that everywhere they turn is just toxicity, and then the problem is they could be walking in so long, they could be so mad and jealous, they can come into your field. They come to your field and be like, "How you got your field? How you got your grass looking green? How your corn look good? Your corn, Your corn look good. How now they mad and upset and want to help tear down and like not just help tear down. They intentionally want to tear down what you got going and bring they atmosphere to yours, and you gotta be able to stand 10 toes and stand firm and like, hey, you can't come this way. You can't come here with that. The problem is you accepting you meet them with the same energy, but his energy you not knowing what his energy created in his field just because he bringing his energy to your field, which your field is full of great crops or a seeds that you planted, which could be all good seeds like your grass is green. In some cases, the grass is green. Like, hey, my grass is green. It looking good over here. It's looking good over here. Where his crops is bad. Like he just a bad farmer. Like he planting bad seed, and that's just that's just terrible. Like, and people may not notice that. And sometimes you can know the fruits of this by how they handling the people that's in their close circle. What's the energy of the company? What's the company they keep? Literally, like the company they keep. They foods. Is it bad foods or good foods? And I just love that analogy. We use that analogy in the future. Oh, okay. So that was the end. That was the last part of that. Uh, I hope you like the interpretation. I should have did that before. I couldn't see. My bad. Yeah, but that was I feel like that was a good study of like the toxic environments that some spirits can actually put out into worlds and spaces, and it's something that you may deal with daily, like you may not know it. In some cases, I feel like you do know. You know that this person will create this type of energy. You know this person is gonna come in and create a problem, or start a problem, and make the energy just bad, just because they're comfortable in that atmosphere or that comfortable in like toxic, highly volatile situations or atmospheres, and that's how they thrive. And you just gotta know that's not for you. And sometimes these places can be, and sometimes these environments they can be like, really well kept environments, and don't let the environment fool you either. The physical environment, don't let that fool you. That the physical environment could be well maintained, or and that may not be because of them. In most cases, it's not because of them. It's because of the environment that they're living in or have. It's not because it's something they was built off their back or something that they earned. Sometimes they live in someone else's field of crop or what they somebody else's farm and seeds that they planted early. So just be very aware and conscious of that. Be very aware and conscious of that because people will deceive you and have you and try to mistreat you as if they the ones that planted and if they was the farmers and truly they not the farmers. They just living on the land. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I will be back with another live video, maybe probably later tonight. Uh, I will be going over. I gotta redo a video that I did before at the church, and then it just didn't load properly. So I'm gonna have to reshoot that. But y'all be easy. Remember, they the 99, we the ones. So you watch the first video, you'll understand what I'm saying. Uh, Remember, just keep walking. Stay on the path. Remember, everybody not participating in the race. Everybody not participating in the marathon. Some people just in proximity of the route. They're not even participating in the race. Stay focused. Stay locked in. See y'all next time.